Hello my dear students, welcome back again to our news analysis program. Today we shall be discussing the Hindu dated March 26. So we shall straight away start the program. I am very sure that all of you have read the newspapers and raring to go. March 26 Hindu. Highest single day spike since October 23 registered. It is a worrisome thing for the government. Why no decision on list sent by Collegium? Supreme Court asks the government. So why no decision on list sent by Collegium? Supreme Court asks the government. What is this Collegium? The appointments of Supreme Court judges and High Court judges are done by the President of India at the recommendation of the Collegium. The Supreme Court Collegium would recommend to the government that this and this and these persons can be appointed justices of High Courts and Supreme Court. So the Collegium decisions are not binding upon the government, but government cannot appoint a person without the recommendation from the Collegium. That is the understanding. Of course, this is a very controversial subject. In a democracy, is it the government which has the will of the people that is authorized to appoint the judges, or is it go by, or should it be gone by the decision of the Collegium? That is a different thing altogether. But anyway, what is happening presently, the present condition is that the central government has to make appointment from the Collegium recommendations. You see, most of the vacancies in the High Courts are vacant now, but the government is very lax, and the lackadaisical attitude of the government keeps many of the vacancies in the High Courts open, and that is what the Supreme Court has criticized. Supreme Court asked the government to clarify on the status of 55 recommendations made by the Collegium for judicial appointments to High Courts in 6 months to nearly 1.5 years. So 55 recommendations of the Supreme Court Collegium to the central government await decisions. That is what is questioned by the Supreme Court today. Look, in the sanctioned strength in 25 High Courts is 1080. The present working strength is 661 only, with 419 vacancies as on March 1, 2021. Look, long pendency of case is a major problem that Indian judiciary faces. The number of pending cases in India is 3.5 crore, 350 million pending cases are there in Indian courts. We know that justice delayed is justice denied. So one of the reasons for the long pendency of cases in India is this sort of lackadaisical attitude from the government. The government keeps open 419 vacancies in the higher court, in the High Courts in India. So 25 High Courts are there against the sanctioned strength of 1080. 419 remain vacant. That is one of the reasons. So hopefully the government will act very quickly and appoint more judges in the High Court, and High Court, the court will become more vibrant, and pendency of cases may be reduced in the future. So let us see what is going to happen. Highest single day spike since October 23 registered. India reported 58,735 cases and 256 new deaths as on 11 PM on Thursday. Of course, this is a worrisome situation. Ever since October 2020, this is the highest daily spike. Maharashtra, Punjab are leading the figures. The cumulative case count stood at 1,18,45,748, and the death toll rose to 1,60,982 cases. Of course, it is not the time that we can remain cool as regards COVID is concerned. through one side vaccination provides us hope, but that should not make us callous. Supreme Court bats for women officers in Army. Supreme Court held that Army's selective evaluation process discriminates against and disproportionately affects women short service commission officers seeking permanent commission. We are of the view that the evaluation criteria set by Army constituted systemic discrimination against the petitioners who are women officers. The bench led by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud observed. Of course, in a male chauvinistic world, rules are defined and decided by men, and this sort of discrimination is very high in the armed forces. That is what is being questioned by the Supreme Court. We know that there is no space in the world, in the planet, where women have not reached. So it is high time that armed forces become more liberal to women, eligible women officers. Faster, sooner. India has the wherewithal to sharply accelerate daily vaccination rate. The Hindu says that daily vaccination rates must be increased. Just 3 weeks after it rolled out the second phase of mass vaccination program for people above 60 years and those above 45 years with comorbidities, India has now undertaken a course correction to vaccinate anyone above 45 years immaterial of comorbidity status from April 1. From April 1 onwards, all people above 45 years can go for their vaccination, and if only vaccination pace is increased, that the country can control the spreading of COVID-19. India has got the wherewithal. We all know that India is the pharmaceutical hub of the world. We are the world's pharmacy. We are supplying vaccines to other countries too. But I was reading a news recently that at least in Kerala, the number of people who are willingly taking vaccination is very low, against the government's expectation of vaccinating 60 lakh people. Only 1/4 of it went for vaccination. So there is a general lack of concern, or people are taking COVID slightly lightly. Okay. An unequal providence. Modified tax provision on PF income discriminates against non-government employees. I would like to point out only one thing. We know that Provident Fund is a forced savings. If you are an employee in any organization which has got more than 20 employees, then that organization has to provide Provident Fund benefits to employees below 15,000 monthly income. So it's a social security measure for which the EPFO, the Employees Provident Fund organization, comes under the Union Labour Ministry. The EPFO comes under the Union Labour Ministry. So EPFO provides different type of provident funds, Employees Provident Fund, there is Public Provident Fund, etc. So government recently understood that this particular social security measure meant for people having medium salary is misused by people, and people having huge amount of money take the route and invest in Public Provident Fund. They are investing even in EPFO. They are investing in EPFO, Employees Provident Fund. What is the benefit? The income generated through interest by investing in Employees Provident Fund is beyond the purview of income taxation. So the income generated through interest in EPFO is not income taxable, and also government is giving a reasonably good, somewhere around 8.5% or 8.4% interest is also given. No bank gives 8.5% interest now. So because of better interest and because of the fact that the income generated out of EPFO is not taxable, there are people who have invested more than 100 crore in EPFO. This is actually against the real spirit of why a social security measure is constituted. So to rectify this anomaly, the government has said that from this year onwards, if the interest accrued is more than 2.5 lakh, that will be income taxable. For interest generated from EPFO, look, PF account holders will be covered by 2.5 lakh per year limit. This was the original decision. Now government has tweaked and said that the contribution is limited to 5 lakh. That is the point that I would like to remind, that is limited to 5 lakh. So if the interest earned through investment in public in employees provident fund is above 5 lakh, that will be subject to income taxation. That is the point that I would like to let you know. I hope you have understood, and please read the entire editorial. This first question is given to you now. The Rajya Sabha has passed the legislation to set up a development finance institution, the National Bank for Financing Dash and Development. I am very sure all of you who have been watching my program for the past few days will definitely answer, because we discussed this question many times. Oh yes, I got the answer straight away, and it has come from Anjana. Good, it is correct, it is infrastructure. A new development finance institution has been proposed. Listen, what are the different development financial institutions? I shall tell you. Why development financial institutions? Development financial institutions are originally NABARD, IDBI, SIDBI, ICICI, NHB and Exim Bank. These financial institutions, development financial institutions, were created for sectoral development. NABARD was created for rural development and agriculture. IDBI was to help big businesses which required long-term capital. SIDBI was introduced to help small industries development, ensure small industries development. ICICI was instituted to develop a stock capital market. National Housing Bank was developed to promote housing in India, and Exim Bank for export and import. So these were the original development finance organizations in India, and they used to do refinancing. Refinancing means financing the financier. Once a bank gives a loan to an agricultural activity, immediately the bank will inform NABARD. The NABARD will share a portion with the bank. So that is an encouragement for bank to finance in agriculture. So it is for sectoral development that all these development financial institutions were incorporated from time to time in India. But when Indian economy was opened in 1991, the government understood that there was no need for an IDBI or ICICI to continue as development bank, because when capital market was opened up, India was opened up, Indian economy was opened up, capital market could otherwise grow on its own. So ICICI was, it is no longer a financial institution, the development financial institution, rather it is a commercial bank now. So what is ICICI Bank? It is only a commercial bank now, no longer is it a development finance institution. That is the case with IDBI also. Once capital market developed, big corporations started getting risk capital from the market. So they stopped accessing huge bank loans, which was very difficult for them to get. So IDBI also was converted into a commercial bank. So IDBI and ICICI are no longer a development finance institution. But now of late the government created a new development finance institution, that is what is NBFID, National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. There are critics who say that development financial institutions are old idea which India did away with in 1991. So an idea which is almost 30 years old is reinvented by the new government. So that is a criticism, but the government says that this is going to make India in the next 30 years, for which an infrastructure development in financial institution is required. That is the position of the government. So that is a story summed up in the case of NBFID. I hope you understood. I am proceeding further. In NBFID, the central government will have a capital stake of very important question. This is the pick of the day. Central government will have a capital stake of -%. Please, yes, let the answers come. Okay, I shall give you the answer. It is 26%. So the government stake in the National Bank for financing infrastructure development is 26%. Very important question. DFI is required for the next 25 years of growth. This the finance minister has said against the criticism that DFI is an old idea which the Congress government did away with in 30 years ago. Okay, anyway, what government believes is that in the next 25 years the National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development is going to play a very crucial role. Third question, Asia's largest tulip garden was thrown open recently to tourists in which place? Is it in Ladakh, Kulu, Manali, Srinagar, or none of these? We know that the tulip garden in Holland is very famous, but this is the tulip garden. Prime Minister recently asked people to visit the tulip garden of this place. Yes, the answer is correct, Anjana. It is Srinagar. The biggest tulip garden in Asia is opened in Srinagar. It is 30 hectares of tulip garden. Prime Minister recently exhorted people to make visit to Srinagar and promote tourism industry in Srinagar. Asia's largest tulip garden opens in Srinagar. Asia's largest tulip garden was thrown open in Srinagar with around 4,000 visitors enjoying the bloom of the 25% of the 15 lakh flowers planted over 30 hectares located in the foothills of a suburban range. Very important. This may come for the exam. Suez Canal connects. Suez Canal has come to the limelight recently. Why Suez Canal is in the reason? Is in the news now. What are the two seas that are connected by the Suez Canal? Suez Canal is in Egypt, owned by Egypt. It was constructed in 1869. Suez Canal brings nearly $5 billion as revenue to Egypt every year. Suez Canal connects very good the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea. It is the shortest route to reach Asia from Europe by circumventing the other route which would have been to cover Africa. So we can go without covering Africa, and reach Asia from Europe very fast. So the Panama flagged Taiwan ship MV Ever Given, merchant vessel MV Ever Given, one of the biggest ships in the world that was aground in sandstorm, and now the passage Suez Canal is closed, transportation is closed. Suez Canal is this particular vessel is a 400-meter long vessel, and Suez Canal, as you know, is 193 kilometer long and 60-meter wide. So Suez Canal is an artificial canal which helps ships reach Asia from Europe and vice versa very quickly. They can the canal separates African continent from Asia, and it provides the shortest maritime route between Europe and Asia. Okay, so the transportation through the Suez Canal is stopped now when MV Ever Given, a very big vessel, ran aground in sandstorm, and this may now spurt world oil prices again, because oil transportation is also stopped. Suez Canal temporarily halts navigation. Please read, it is very, very important. North Korea launches ballistic missiles. Of course, the cantankerous leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, has launched the ballistic missiles, again triggering troubles in the Asian region, triggering troubles for both neighboring South Korea and Japan. Shaktikant Das sees no reason to cut financial year 22 forecast. We know that the Reserve Bank of India had predicted that GDP growth for the financial year 2022 must be 10.5%. Reserve Bank of India governor is very confident of achieving that 10.5%, and he finds no reason why there should be a cut to the expected growth. Please read and try to understand all the terminologies. Not much more in this news. My dear students, thank you very much for watching the program. I expect you to be a regular to these programs. We shall come again for another episode of this program on the coming Monday at 10 o'clock, sorry, at 12:30. Thank you very much. At 3 o'clock we shall meet again with another live program on either math, English or reasoning. Please support us by giving your positive comments against this program in the YouTube. Like this program and share the link with your friends. Thank you very much.